Hello everyone, what's up? I would like to welcome you all to the fourth video on nodejs. And yes, we are working on Todolist application. We are working on its UI, and if you guys remember, then in the previous video, in video 3, we designed the UI of our Todolist application, right? And yes, in this video also we'll be looking at the remaining part of the UI of our application. Alright, so the previous video, the video 3 was the part 1 for the UI, and this will be the part 2 and also the final part of our UI. Means this video will be the last video where we will be working on the UI, where we will be working on the front end. And from the next video, from video 5, we will be working on the backend only. We will see how to do database configuration, and we will see all the CRUD operation in real. Okay, so yeah, so this video is the last video where we will be working on the UI, and also this is the part 2 and the final video, okay, final part of our application's UI. Alright, so if you guys remember, then in the video 3 we designed how our Todolist application's homepage and create page should look like. Okay, so we will also do a quick recall of what we did in the third video. Alright, so for that, let's go towards our project itself. Alright, so this is our project. So we were working on my nodejs project, right? So the name of my project here is my nodejs project. Okay, don't get confused. In your system, it may you might have named it like with a different name, right? So yeah, so this is our application. So let's do a quick recall of what we did in video 3. All right, okay, the server is running, and now let's see. Let's run our application on the browser. Okay, you know how to see your application in the browser, right? Localhost 3000/home. If we do this, then our home page appears, and if we go to the create page, then our create page is here. So this is our home page. The home page is basically it is designed this way that it should render all the data from the database, right? But these data are not from the database right now. These all are the dummy data, okay, because we have not done any database configuration. We are not connected to any database, so these all data are dummy data. Don't worry about all these things. We have discussed about this in the videos itself, okay? And this is our create page. Okay, so today as I already said that this video is going to be the last video where we will be working on the UI of our application, right? So what do you think that what is remained now to design here, you know, as the UI? Okay, so I'll tell you. Wait, so this is our home page, which reads all the data from our database, right? Like data means all the tasks related things. Okay, so all the tasks from the database. Home page reads all the tasks from the database and it displays on the page, right? And create page lets us to create a new task, and that task will be stored in the database table. All right, so now some other thing is remained. So if we click on the show more button, then it should take us to a different page, right? So if you remember in video 3, I also described it very clearly that if we go to the show more, okay, if we click on the show more button, then it should take us to a different page that would look something like this. Okay, if we click on the show more button, then it should take us to the page that looks something like this, and in that page we should be able to update and delete the task. Okay, so sorry, I have written here blog, okay, but it's actually task. So please don't mind this particular thing. Okay, so this should be the page where we can update and delete the task. Okay, so and here if we click on the update button, then it should update the task, and if we click on the delete button, it should delete that particular task. Okay, so yeah, so today we will design, like we will include this space also in our application. Okay, so this is the screenshot that I have taken okay, from my another project which I have already completed. Okay, so this is something that we will be doing in our current project. All right, so I think you might have become clear about what I'm trying to do. So if I click on the Sommer button, then it should take us to a page which gives us details of the task one. Okay, so it should give us details of task one, like title, its description, its due date, and this should be the page where we can update and delete this particular task one. All right, so if you see, then if we click on the home page, then we can read the data. If we click on the create, then we can create new task. And if we click on the Sommer button, then it takes to a page, all right, where we can update and delete that particular task. Then if you see, then if we become able to do all these things successfully, then what we will complete all the CRUD operation: create, read, update, and delete. So if we become able to complete all these all these operations: create, read, update, and delete, then our application is complete. All right, so but if you see, then the UI may not be like that of a the UI may not be very much amazing, astonishing kind of, but since I want you to learn a CRUD operation, how CRUD operation is done in Node.js, so for that purpose, please don't mind the UI. Okay, so the UI is something that more looks like I think it more looks like a desktop application, right? So don't mind the UI, but I just want you to learn how to do CRUD operation. Okay, so please forgive me in this case. Okay, so the UI is not I think, from my sense, I think the UI is more, which looks like a desktop application, kind of like that. Okay, all right, so let's forget that. Okay, so this is our requirement. In this video we will be working on the this particular page. Okay, and this page should appear when we click on the Sommer button. That is our requirement. All right, so let's code this. Okay, and please don't worry about the code. I have the GitHub repo for this project, and if you see in the description box below, then there is GitHub link of this project. Go to that GitHub link and you will get all the source code, so don't worry about the source code. And also, if you have not watched the previous videos, then the link to the playlist is also in the description box below. Go watch all the videos. All right, so yeah, so the task today we are going to do is we're going to make this space. Okay, we are going to make this space, all right, in our application. Okay, for this okay, so let's make this page. Okay, page means view, right? An EJS file. So let's create one more view or one more EJS file. So let's name that EJS file at so.ejs, right? So when this EJS file should be shown, when we click on the so button, when we click on the so button, the Sommer button, this so.ejs file should appear on our application, right? So let's go and modify code here in app.js, right? Okay, so our requirement is, if we click on the Sommer button, then we should be redirected, or we should be taken to which page? So page, right? So if something, all right, if okay, let's write in this way. I will make you clear about this. Okay, give me a few seconds. All right, Okay, so what this particular code is saying is that if somebody searches for /so path, okay, then he should be shown which page? He should be shown so page, or as a response he should get so page. Okay, so if somebody searches for like localhost /3000/ so, then he should be directed to so page. All right, so page means which page? This page. All right, so but now we are not able to, okay, this, okay, it should be small s, okay, because if you see then here, all right, I think it okay, I think if we write it small s or bigger s, I don't think it should make any difference. Okay, so let's check it. All right, so if we search here something like this 3000/so, then it should render us so page. All right, and that is the thing. Okay, so and also our another requirement is that if we click on the show more button, then we should be directed to which page? We should be directed to so page. All right, so if we click on the so more page, then we should be directed to so page. So that is our requirement. All right, so we need to also make so page, okay, for that. So let's write something here like this is so page. Okay, this is so page. Let's check it, okay, whether it's working or not. All right, okay, so if we click here, like if we search something like localhost 3000/so, then we are redirected to which page? We're directed to, this is so page. Okay, we are directed to so page. Okay, so this is working well. So our one task has been finished, that if we search for something like localhost 3000/so on the search box, then we will be directed to the so page. Now our another requirement is that if we okay, sorry, oh my god, localhost so our another requirement is if we click on the show more button, then we should be directed to which page? So page. All right, so what we have done till now is that we have made an EJS file called so.ejs, and also we have mentioned in our app.js file that if somebody searches for /so path, then he should be responded with which page? So page. If somebody searches for /so path, then he should be given a which page? So page. Okay, so now our another requirement is that if somebody clicks on the show more button, then he should be directed to which page? So page. All right, so let's go to the home.ejs file, okay, because this page is home page and this button is in the home page, right? So if we want to render so page when we click on the show more button, okay, so firstly we have to write code for that, right? So where to write the code? So this is basically home page, right? So this show more button is in the home page, so we need to modify the code in the home page itself, right? So this, I mean to say that this show more button is in home page. So if we want to display so page when we click on the show more button, right, so we need to modify the code of home page itself where there is show more button, right? So let's modify the code of home page where there is show more button. Okay, so let's find out the show more button. All right, so here if you see, then you will see show more button in every row. Okay, so here tr means row, okay, dd means data. So for each row, okay, so we have included here show more button. Okay, if you see, then here is show more button. All right, and If you see, then these all are dummy data. Okay, this data like one task, one description, all this data, these all are dummy data. Means this data that we have manually written here, these data are not from the database. Okay, so database configuration and all that thing we will do in video 5. All right, so don't worry about that. So now the requirement is that if we click on the show more, then it should take us to the show page. All right, so let's do that. So let's give a let's give our, we need to give our URL here. Okay, like if we click on the show more button, then we should be directed to which page? Slash, we should be directed to show page, right? I think it should work fine. I think slash show, if we write this, then I think it should direct us to the show page. Okay, so modify all the code here, slash show. All right, so if you see, then we are modifying the code in our dummy data. Okay, because in our, if you see, then in our each data, right, so there is this action column, and inside action column there is show more button, right? So that's why we are modifying code in each row. Okay, but when we do the database configuration and all these things, then we don't have to modify code in each row like this, right? So later on we will do that as well. So but till now just focus here. Okay, so let's see whether it works or not. So let's refresh it and let's go to show more button. Okay, so this is working well. All right, so if we click here show more, then it is taking us to the show page. All right, so this is working well. Now our requirement is, we don't want to show a blank page like this which has a text like, you know, this is show page and all, right? So our requirement is some other thing. We need to display a page that looks like this, right? So we need to make this UI. All right, so let's make the UI. Okay, so we need to modify the show page, right? So that it looks like our requirement, like this one, right? Okay, so go to the show.egs file and all that code will go here. All right, shift 1, hit enter. Okay, so now okay, so let me tell you one thing, that I will not write here code manually like one by one. It will take a lot of time. So that's why I have already written the code, and that's that I will just simply do copy paste. Okay, and don't worry, you will find all this code in the GitHub link. Okay, in my GitHub repository. So don't worry about the code. I will just simply copy paste the code. All right. So basically, if you see, then let me describe you. Okay, if you see, then it has navigation bar, it has a footer and a body part. Okay, in the body part it has a container, and inside this container it has a form. Okay, so try to understand this design. Okay, so navigation bar, footer, we have discussed this very clearly in the I think in the third video, I think, right? So in the previous video we described about all this navigation bar and footer and all, so how to import this, right? And also we have discussed a little bit about the body part as well, right? So here also the UI is similar to that of the UI of the create page. Okay, so yeah, so we have the container and we have the form and everything. All right, okay, so here in the show page also we need a navigation bar and the footer, right? So let's import the navigation and the footer at first. Okay, so this is a simple piece of code in order to import, right? So we have already made navigation bar and the footer, right? So we will use the same navigation bar and the footer in all the pages of our application. Okay, so let's import it. Include nav bar, and also we are going to need which we are also going to need footer, right? All right. Okay, so let's refresh our, let's save this, and also let's refresh whether this let's refresh our page here, and also let's see whether our footer and navigation bar appears in our show page or not. Okay, so let's refresh this and go to the show more page. Yes, so in our show page, as you guys can see, our nav bar and our footer have a right. So we have successfully imported the nav bar and the footer in our home page. Now the thing is that now what is required is that we just need to have body here. Body means all that, you know, form that shows our, you know, task and where we can update and delete, right? So as I said already, I will just do the copy paste thing, right? So I'll just simply copy the code for our show page. Okay, so this is the code, right? So don't worry about the code is in the GitHub repository. All right, so I'll just simply copy paste here. All right, and let's see the changes in our show page. All right. Okay, so what is the problem here? All right, so give me a few seconds. Blog is not defined. Oh, I know why this problem is here. Oh, if you see, then it is showing us something like this. Blog is not defined, something like that, right? So in my code there is something like blog which is not defined, so we cannot use undefined thing in code. Everything should be defined, right? So let's find out where these blogs are. So if you see, then I have written blogs everywhere, right? So don't get confused. It's because that I have copied this code from my another project, okay, where I have done the similar kind of project. So since I copied the code from another project, so I also copied this you know, blogs and everything, okay. So these things, and also this is showing error, so I will give me a few seconds. I will just remove this unnecessary part, okay. I'll remove this unnecessary part. All right, so these things are not actually unnecessary. We will do this only after we have done the database configuration and all. Since today we are not seeing the database configuration, we are seeing the UI part only, so these things are not needed today, okay. So don't worry about this thing. We will implement this in future, so don't worry about this. For now let me just remove these things, okay, which are not needed for now. And also let me give here some dummy data. All right, let me give here dummy data. Okay, let me do some more modifications. Okay, give me a few more seconds. Don't worry, I'll just finish this up. Okay, all right. So okay, so now here I will also put some dummy data, okay. So in the place of value, like in the place of title, there should be display something, right? So I'll just put some dummy data. So firstly let's firstly check before inserting dummy data. Before inserting dummy data, let's firstly check now whether it is working or not. All right. Okay, it is not working now. Also it has some problem. Okay, so I have blocks here also. All right, now let's see whether it works or not. All right, so if you see, then our form is in the top left corner, right below our nav bars, and it is not looking good at all, because it is just here in, it is just so congested in the top left corner of our page, right? So let's give some style, some CSS, so that it appears here in the middle of our page. And also, okay, so let's give some CSS. All right, so let's open a style tag here. All right, and let's also copy the CSS code from here. All right, all right, so copy it and paste it here. Okay, so let's refresh this one second. All right, so now our, if you see, then our page has successfully appeared here. All right, so this is what we wanted, right? So here, okay, so we'll also do slight modifications, right? So here, if you see, then I have written here you can update or delete this block. So this is not actually block, this is actually tasks. Okay, so let's do this modification. And here it's no description, it's actually date. So if you see here, in this section, in this input box, I have written here description, so it's not actual description, it's date. So let's do a slightly little modification. All right, so in here it's not description, it's due date, right? And also okay, it's not actually block, it's task, right? It's task. All right, so let's refresh our page. Okay, so this is basically our page where we are going to update the task and also delete the task, right? So if you go to the home page, then our data, this is our data, right? All the tasks, but these all tasks are dummy data. All right, and if we want to delete or update this particular task one, then we need to go to the show more page, right? We need to click the show more button and it will take us to the show more page, and it will display the details about like title, description and due date of the task one. And this page is the page where we can update and delete the task one. All right, so let me insert here dummy data. Okay, so to give illusion that when we click on the show more page, so it's displaying the data of task one. Okay, so to give that illusion, so let's give here some dummy data. Since we have not included here database, so for now we need to give dummy data, right? So task one, okay, task one description. All right, so this is 2024 5/27. All right, so let's see. Okay, so our dummy data has also appeared here. Okay, so I'm just trying to show you that if I want to update or delete this task one, so then I need to go to the show page by clicking the show more button, and it will take me to this page where my task one and task one description, its due date, all this will be appeared, right? And I can, you know, change this, I can update it, I can delete it here in this space. All right, so okay, so my due date is not appearing here. I think it's because of its input type date. Let's change it to the text, okay, for now, but later on we are going to make it a date. All right, okay, so if you see, then these all are the dummy data. Okay, so just I'm trying to show you that this is how our application should show the show page, and this is how we're going to do things later on. Okay, so this is just the way of showing. Okay, so these all are the dummy data. So if I click on the task one, then it should give me its details where I can update and delete this. Okay, that's it. That's all about the UI of our application. All right. Okay, so if I click on the update button, if I make here certain changes and click on the update button, then all these changes should be saved, and all these changes should be reflected on the home page, right? Okay, and if I delete this task one, then this task one should be removed from this home page, right? So that is all that which are required. Okay, but for now we are just simply working on the dummy data and everything. Okay, so we're just simply working on the dummy data. But see, after video 5 we will be working on the like in the video 5 we will see the database configuration and all. So from that onwards we will just do CRUD operation and, you know, everything. So we'll write backend of our application from video 5. Okay, so till now what we have done is that we have just simply made the UI of our Todolist application. Okay, so we have designed that how our home page should look like, how our create page should look like, and how our show more page should look like. Okay, so if we become able to do successful to do all these operations, then that means that we have become successful to perform all the crowd operation in Node.js. Okay, so if you see, then till now what we have seen is that we have just simply done the UI things only. Okay, so like we have just simply designed the user interface, we have worked on the UI. Okay, but we have not written the backend, like proper backend means like how this particular task is to be created. Like if I give here some details, right, and click on the submit button, then how this task will be inserted into the database table. So we have not seen that thing yet, so we will do all that in the upcoming videos. So yeah, so that's all guys. So that's all for the UI part of our application. So this is our final UI. So basically we will have 3 pages: home page, create page, and the show more page. Home page, create page, and the show more page. And all these pages will make us able to do all the crowd operation: create, read, update, and delete. Until now we have just seen the UI, and from the upcoming videos, from the video file, we will see the backend, we will see all the database configuration and all the crowd operation: create, read, update, and delete in real life. All right, so that's all guys for today. And don't worry about all this code. Okay, so I will just push this in the GitHub. Okay, so now itself I can just simply push it. Okay, so worked on the UI, worked on UI part 2. All right, so I'll just commit this, I will push this into my GitHub repo. You will get this code in the GitHub repository itself. Okay, so you have all the source code link, also you have the link of the playlist also. Okay, so don't do any kind of delays. You can go to the GitHub link also to get the source code. You can go to the playlist to see all the previous videos. All right, so no worries guys. So that's all for today. So we have finally finished working on the UI. All right, we have finally finished working on the UI. That's all for today, and thank you so much for watching this video. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button. Okay, share this video as well. Thank you everyone. Thank you.